want here skill development, and then comes next the career development. So most of you say, I am here to develop my skills, and that's very good. Because if you develop the skills, that is the X factor, and your career will automatically advance. That's great. And some of you want to explore the new opportunities. So definitely it's going to help you to explore the new opportunities as well. So thanks for participating in this poll. And I'm Amitabh Saxena. And before I hand it over to the trainer, I'm just asking some questions. And if you can answer these questions, that will help us. So your current role or job function. So many of you are freshers, okay? And many of you are from IT or technology, okay? So fresher in IT technology, in case, then you can even consider yourself to be in the IT and technology domain. Okay, so how many, if you are a student of IT, then you can just say IT. Good. So thanks a lot for participating in this poll. And then now we have got, and please do join our other free trainings. We have Lean and Six Sigma trainings, free trainings, Yellow Belt certification trainings are there. PMP, project management trainings are there. Please do join them. And another question for you. Do you have any prior experience with the AWS? So 90% of you are telling no. Okay. And yeah, around 80% now saying no prior experience, and some hands-on experience, around 10% of you have. And great, thanks a lot for answering this question. And now last, are you planning to implement AWS solutions in your current job or project after completing this workshop? So with that, of course, this is Amitabh Saxena here, welcoming everyone. Thanks for joining our session. And many of you have attended our previous programs. Thanks for that also. Some of you are our students. Thanks for coming back to us. So Lean and Six Sigma, process management, project management, CPHQ, AWS trainings, these are all the trainings we deliver. We have been around for last 17 years, the organization. We have got head office in Copenhagen, Melbourne, and we have got offices in Dubai, Bangalore, Riyadh, Jeddah, etc., etc. On that note, let us welcome. Over to you, Raju.
I'll just good evening, everyone. Yeah. Hi, everyone. Good evening. Right. So, thank you, Amita, for the introduction. So good to see that many people are participating. Right, coming to my world. Like I mean to say that my world is AWS is my world. All right. So welcoming you everyone towards that my world. Right. So I just really so happy to see the poll from the different background and not only IT, finance background, HR background. There are so many people are there. So many freshers are there. It's so surprised to do. I mean, it's not a surprise. I mean to say that you are showing lots of interest to learn a new technology. Right. So good to that. Okay. Let me introduce myself. I'll just share the PPT. Okay. Let me share my screen. Sorry. Am I audible to everyone? Please.
Yes, you are.
Yeah, sure. Thank you. So, as Mr. Amitabh, given an introduction about, Anexa, right? So, we are dealing with almost more than 10 countries. We have been taken more than, 500 successful projects, as well as we have done lots of training all around the world in the AWS. I'm also a AWS trainer, We taking care of lots of certification based training as well as the real time projects in our organization Anexas. Okay, today the major agenda was we were planning to do related to cloud computing, right? So after I seen the poll, I had a plan of do something live with real demonstration also, because so many IT people are there as well as so many people they wanted to take this as a career development, right? So it is not like just like attending some workshop something like that. Okay, so before I start with that thing, our workshop, like I would like to know about you guys regarding the cloud. What is cloud basically? So as far as my understanding, the most of the people will be answering that. Since it's a 1 hour session, I'll be answering myself. I'll assume my answers from you people, and also you can also drop your answers there. So as soon as somebody asks you like what is cloud, everybody says that cloud is a storage. Is it so, right? That will be most of the people answers. Can you just ping me the chat? What is cloud? If I ask you, what will be your one word answer? If I ask you what is cloud, what will be your one word answer from you? A computer on another location? Yes. Good. Hello. Hello. Pass. That's all. There are more participants. I welcome you answer. Moving its infrastructure on premises to the cloud. Okay. The save, you can save the documents and information. Yes. Internet-based cloud platform. Yeah. Any service that use without having employ a physical server. Okay. Fine. So I'll just stop with that. Okay. Good. Almost everyone answer is close to that. Okay. So now in this particular thing, before I start with the cloud, I make you to understand the basic scenario. What is the cloud? Okay, I think I did not introduce myself. Sorry. So I am also a certified solution architect as well as a cloud security specialist, and also I'm a safe agilist. Okay, I have almost 15 plus years of experience. Okay. So let us. So before we get into the cloud, let us understand the difference between rent and own. What is the advantage of having rent and own? Suppose if you are forget about the technical stuff. Okay, let us talk about our house. Suppose we are all having a rental house as well as own house, right? What is the purpose people are going for the rental house? The main reason the rental house is maybe you will be going for a rental house, right? Right. There are two reasons people will go for the rental house. The first reason is nothing but affordability, right? They may not be affordable based on their requirement. Point number one. The second requirement people for go for the rental house, they may not going to stay in that particular house for no longer. Suppose you are going for some job to some city, you may be renting that house for till you work there. After that, you may not owning that house, right? Save money, right? Secure for long term, no maintenance. That is a basic difference, right? Renting and owning, the basic difference is what? You can just go there. What is the major difference? I was talking about it, right? If you are having a own house, who is the responsible of maintaining it? If you are having a rental house, who is responsible? If you own your own house, you have to take care of all the maintenance. If you talk about the infrastructure, your building, power, if there is any problem happens to your power and everything, you have to take care of it. Am I right or not? So, but when you go for a rent a house, what is the biggest advantage? You could just pay every month. You just pay the rent for a particular house. Everybody they take care of it, right? You just utilize that house for your day-to-day activities, for everything, whatever you want to do. You can just utilize the houses, right? No need to, uh, uh, take care of maintenance, all those things, constructing, investing too much of money for constructing the house. Maybe you have to pay some amount of, rental, or you just some advance something. You just make some down payment, you will start using it. That's the major purpose of rental house, right? So the responsibility of the rental house is completely taken care by house owner, right? You don't need to bother about it. Your only job is just to pay the money, right? Then what is the benefit out of it, right? What is the benefit? You will save your time. So many, you will save your time, you will save your money, and also administration issue is not there. No need to maintain. Your time will be saved, your money will be saved, and everything. But still, you will be able to stay in some places where you want to stay, right? So in that case, what we generally do, you have a mutual agreement between your house owner as well as you. You have a mutual agreement about it. Okay. So in that way, only you start moving to the rental house. Am I right or not? So cloud is nothing but you can relate the same stuff. Suppose if I'll take this phone, I take this phone actually. Okay. When I take this phone has plenty of stuffs. Am I right or not? It has a storage, it has an operating system, it has a platform, it has a processor, it has a memory. There are so many computing devices. It's a computing device. It has so many things, right? I have two chances to do that. One is I can buy a phone or I can rent a phone. Am I right or not? Mostly nowadays we are all capable of buying a phone. So we are buying a phone. Am I right or not? The similarly, suppose we all almost 70 people are there. We all together gonna start an organization. Okay, assume we are almost all the participants, total 74 people, including me. We are all joining and just gonna start an organization, right? Organization. It may be any organization. It may be healthcare. It may be an IT computing. It may be a consulting. It may be any projects, healthcare project, banking project, anything. So what do we need it? Obviously, like what do we need it? We may need so many infrastructures, we may need lots of servers, we may need lots of storages, we may need lots of computing devices, we may need lots of networking devices, right? There are so many infrastructure as well as softwares as well as platforms, so many things are required. Am I right or not? So in that case we have two choice number one, you can buy your own infrastructures. As I said that in the phone, you can buy your own computing environment, you can buy your own platform, you can buy your own storage and everything. You can buy it if you're affordable. When it comes to the real-time IT or organization, it is not that easy to invest on an infrastructure. Nowadays, you know that the data is growing like anything. Suppose if you go with 100 terabytes of storage, the next week the amount of storage will drastically increase. So what do you do with that particular storage which you have purchased? Again, you have to add something. Am I right or not? So the basic idea behind that is whenever you want to move something towards an organization where you have an infrastructure which you are not able to afford, or else if you want to go for a trial basis, or else if you want to spend less and utilize the more benefits out of it, that time how you will take a decision of renting the house smartly will take a move, right? Suppose you are going to some city for a job, you are gonna search job for that, right? In that case, what do? Basically, you rent house for that. Similarly, when you go for when you go for the IT stuff, right? Via internet, you can rent all the resources, whatever the resources I was talking about, whatever the resources related to the infrastructure or platform or applications, right? Don't think that the platform is what you are using computer, laptop you are using, right? Laptop has its own platform, it has infrastructure, it has a processor, it has a it has a memory, it has a storage, everything is there in a single laptop. Am I right or not? So those laptops, right? If you really want to have a something, you want to hire it from somebody else, right? So that suppose if you want to buy a assume 126 GB of RAM machine, if you want to buy it, right? It is not that easy to buy it. 126 GB of RAM or 256 of RAM computing system. You may not be able to easily buy it right now. We cannot afford it, basically, right? So now cloud computing is a process. It's a platform. It enables you to whatever this application, IT resources, infrastructure which is required for your application, for your organization, that can be acquired, that can be hired, right, through internet. So you just going to pay only how much you're going to use it, like you are paying for a rent, right? So that is basically that way of hiring a resources from somebody, that we call it as what? Cloud computing, basically. Yeah, I'll go slow. Sorry. All right. Is that clear? What is cloud computing? You understood, right? Like hiring a resources whichever we required for it. Hiring a resources whichever we required for an organization. It may be a infrastructure, it may be a platform, it may be a software, it may be a storage, it may be a process, networking infrastructure, anything whichever you want to hire it. Then you can go with cloud computing process. Is that clear so far? I have just told two steps. One is rental and advantage of renting the stuff and advantage of owning the stuff. So when it comes to the same scenarios, if you apply in your IT industry, right, you can rent the infrastructure or you can own the infrastructure. If you are decided to rent an infrastructure, based on your usage, that particular way of acquiring the resources, we call it as cloud computing. Is that clear so far? Yes. Yes, I expect few more people response. Yes. Oh, I'll just go on. What it is. It's very simple. Just renting. How we are renting a house, we are renting the infrastructure. So simple. Simplest sum. I will the by end of the workshop, I would like to demonstrate some kind of live demo. I don't want to be like a theoretical discussion or something like that. I want you people to have a basic outline of how does a cloud, the real cloud looks like that. How do we do that? Some basic services like that. Okay. So here the cloud computing, what we'll do. Okay, before cloud computing, what they were doing it. That also we should know. As of now, we understood what is cloud. All right. Basically, cloud is nothing but renting the resources. Okay. Before cloud, how it was been used? You need a separate space. You need a separate staff. You need a physically secure. You need your own infrastructure. You need a own building for it. You need a physical data center for that, like something like this, right? You need a physical place. You need a physical data center. You need a router, switch, storage system, and everything to be physically should be. You have to invest on each and every stuff on this particular infrastructure. This is how before the cloud computing come into picture, we were doing like this, right? We will have a building. In the building, we'll invest our capital, that whatever the server is required, whatever the storage is required, whatever the networking device are required, whatever the backup storage is required, whatever all those things we basically buy, including the physical physical infrastructure as well as IT infrastructure. We'll be buying it. So in that case, what will happen? There is there is a cost wise, it's huge. You have to make lots of investment, right? Obviously it is no way we can do the affordability. So that's what the people started moving to an environment called as cloud environment. Another advantage is nothing but, suppose somebody they think, if you are moving to the cloud, instead of we store the data in our places, we are storing the data in our another places. We may feel that security issues. Am I right? Or that is another, generally will feel it. If it is in our own place, we'll have a more security enough, right? That is the reason any cloud provider, there are lots of cloud provider available in the market. We'll be seeing in the upcoming slides. Okay, lots of other cloud providers are available in the market, right? Like Amazon, you can Google, you can know Microsoft. So there are lots of clouds are available, right? So that is the reason what people, instead of having their own on-premises infrastructure, they'll move it to the cloud environment. Got it? Then another reason they are moving is not only the cost. Suppose if you buy a storage, the data keeps on increases, right? Keeps on increases. So the what model phone we used some 1 year back, we are not using the same model phone. What is the reason? Because computing power has been day by day, the technology improves, right? The day by day, the computing, the performance system is keep on increasing it. So we have to adapt to the new innovations. Am I right or not? Suppose if you go for the traditional computing, if you buy your own infrastructures, if you invest money on your own infrastructures and storage or whatever, right? That time it will outdated so soon. Moreover, it will not react so scalable, right? It will not react or so scalable. So that is the reason we started going with what? Cloud computing, basically. Got it? So that is what there are two ways I can categorize the cloud computing. Okay. So let me not go with much only theoretical stuff. Soon I'll be moving to the practical stuff. Don't worry. Okay. So there are two perspectives I can categorize. One is how you are deploying it. You are deploying for everybody or deploying only for you. What is the meaning of deploying? Launching it, right? Suppose if you use it for only your organization, we call it as private cloud, right? You are not going to access the data through the public internet, right? Even though if you use internet to access, we'll be using with the private connections, we'll maintain it. Suppose I am in India, okay, you are in Europe or you are in somewhere Dubai, but we are working for the same project. In that case, though we are access the data in internet, there is a lots of provision for the establish a connection in the privately, VPN we call it as, right? So basically, like there are three more way we can deploy this cloud. Either you can completely deploy in the public cloud, you can utilize that, or else you can make it private for your organization, right? But what we are gonna what are the various services we generally require? That's what I was told you right now. What is the cloud? I said this cloud is nothing but hiring your resources. Am I right or not? Cloud is nothing but hiring your resources. Okay, what resources we are going to hire it? There are three categories we can hire it. One is we can hire the infrastructure as a service. So whatever we are going to hire it or rent it, that we call resources, that we call it a service here. What is the name we call it as? Service. All right. Whatever the suppose if you go to YouTube, whatever the video you are putting, you know, you are publishing it, you call it as shorts. All right. Like Twitter, whatever you do, the message we call it as tweet. All right. Similarly, like you know, when it comes to the AWS, whatever the services or resources you are hiring from the cloud provider, that we call it as services. Okay. So what are various services we can do it? Infrastructure, you can hire it. Only infrastructure you can hire it. You can hire a platform, you can hire it. You can hire a software, you can hire it. Probably you may not understand with this. The next slide makes you to understand that. You can just see here. If you want to run one single application, suppose probably we are using Gmail right now, right? We are chatting now. You can take the Zoom. We are attending the Zoom meeting right now. So not only Zoom software stays in the top layer. Zoom software stays in the application layer. So there are so many layers are there. This should be part of the communication or any application to function it. Not only application is enough. Suppose if I have an application, I have a runtime Zoom. Is that right? I have a runtime environment for installing the software, Zoom software. I have to install it. The system should have an operating system. It should be virtually connected. You are being connected here, right? Then there are lots of storage is required. There are so many services or so many, you know, you can say so many layers are there to make an application to function. All right. So in this case, there are two different stuff is there. If all the layers, if you own by yourself, that we call it as on premises, we will not call it as cloud. I'll repeat, right? If all the layers, if you want to launch an application, it may be a Netflix, Amazon, it may be our Zoom meeting, maybe any application we are doing it, right? If you that will have lots of layers, not only application, as I described in this slides, there are lots of layers involved in it, right? In this case, if you own everything, you own runtime, you own your own operating system, own servers, own storage, you have your own data center with all the networking facility, that we call it as on premises. We will not call it as cloud. Got it? So, but in case, assume application you own it, data you own it, a runtime environment. Runtime environment is suppose you want to play some songs, you install the software for that, right? So that is a runtime environment for make the particular software to work, right? Operating system if you own it. Rest, storage, servers, networking, only those things you are renting from somebody or hiring from somebody or taking the service help from somebody. Who is a somebody? Cloud service provider. That way, that service we call it as infrastructure as a service. Only infrastructure you are hiring from somebody. You have your own platform. What is a platform? Operating system and runtime environment. Those things you are owning by yourself. Only the server, storage, all those things you are hiring from cloud provider. That we call it as infrastructure as a service, right? Assume you don't have anything. You have only your application and your data. You develop an application, including operating system, everything you wanted. Everything you wanted, right? That case, yeah, infrastructure, I will repeat it. So you, if you want to run on any application, there are multiple layers are available. First to make an understanding, right? Not only an application, to run an application, we need data. To run the data, we need lots of runtime environment. Mean to say that, as I told you, like suppose if you want to run a Zoom meeting, Zoom software to be installed, right? If you want to, you know, if you want to have some software has been developed by using Python, the Python runtime environment should be exist in the particular machine. Am I right or not? So all these layers, only the storage layer, server layer, virtualization layer, if you rent from cloud service provider, that way we call it as IaaS, infrastructure as service. Hope you are clear, Shalini? Instead of hire everything, you are hiring only the bottom layer. Other layers you own by yourself. That is, you know, infrastructure as a service. Assume, yes, Monica. Monica, you have any question? Shall I continue? Monica, you have any question? You have raised the hand. Fine. Okay, I'll go ahead. If there is anything, please feel feel free to drop it in a chat box. I'll be ready to answer each and every questions. I have no problem in it. Okay. Uh, yeah. Thank you, Monica. So apart from the storage and servers, including an operating system and runtime environment, if you are hiring from the cloud providers, then we call it as what? PaaS. It's called as platform as a service. Not only the infrastructure, including by using the infrastructure, we need a platform to run the application. Including that platform, we are hiring from the AWS or in any cloud service provider. Then we call it as platform as a service. Assume you want to, if there is a video, if there is a I have a PDF is there, okay? Assume I have a PDF. The PDF, you don't want to share the PDF as it is. You want to just hide the sensitive data in the PDF. Assume like that. That time you need to have some softwares. Am I right or not? So that time we can go for some available software in the cloud provider, right? Including the application, you can hire it rather than you build your own application, rather than you download your own application. You can just hire the application itself for lots of text to speech conversion, lots of video recognition, object detection, lots of machine learning. Nowadays, lots of machine learning application has been launched. We call it the SaaS product. What is that? Now SaaS product. Suppose if you see now lots of e-commerce websites are there, right? Every company they doesn't have a e-commerce website. What they do it, there is a one company they will make a SaaS product. That other company they'll just take the service out of that. Only the name will be different. If you have observed it, you can see that. Only the name is different. Yes, Monica. Only the name is different, but the entire structure of that application will be the same, right? Then, yes. Those who have raised their hand, if you drop your question, it will be good enough for me to answer. Okay. So that is a SaaS one. So hope I can categorize three. Only the infrastructure if you hire, say infrastructure. Okay. Fine. Though if you only hire an infrastructure, then you can just go for the, you can go for basically, go for infrastructure as service. So there's a three major module. So again, I'll repeat, there are two ways. One is the deployment, how you deploy, whether you are publicly accessing the cloud for or private for your organization alone, or it can be hybrid also. That way we can categorize the cloud. Another thing is what service you are going to hire it, right? If you are hire as infrastructure, it's infrastructure cloud. Okay, good to go, right? So that is a difference actually. So here what we'll do in infrastructure, whatever we are, it's just a basic comparison between it, right? Suppose if you go use on premises, you will have a firewall. The same job in on premises, what you are doing it, that will be done by some other services in AWS or any other cloud service provider. Suppose in infrastructure, if you use switch, here no need of taking care of the switch. It will have another VPC concept. So what do I mean to say that in infrastructure, whatever you are going, suppose you go storage use there, SAM, NAS, these are all real-time storage in the local infrastructure, like on-premise infrastructure, right? All right, then this particular storage, instead of have your own premises, if you go for the cloud, you have different services. Hope you are clear about it. In on-premises, you have to buy all the infrastructure, platform, and everything. Here, we will be utilizing as a service. What is the meaning of service? Just it will look like an icon where we can utilize it. After that, we are going to show a demo of it. All right. Hope you are clear about it. So it is all about what services we are going to hire it. All right. So just now I already have told you, like the renter house. Suppose if you are going for the on-premises all in cloud, no upfront investment. You no need to invest too much. When you are going for the on-premises, you have to invest too much. There is no ongoing cost. You no need to maintain cost, but labor, all those things is required, right? You can have lots of innovation come into picture here, right? But when it comes to on-premises, your system administration is required. Here, it's not like that. Lots of recent services will support you to make your application work so dynamically, right? Flexible capacity. Suppose if you are here, if you are having a storage of 500 terabyte, immediately you want to scale it up, you can automatically scale it. But here, there, it is a fixed capacity. You have to buy one more storage of it, right? It is a speed as well as globally. It is the only advantages. The data center will not be in one place. It's globally accessible. That is the advantage of it, right? So for what purpose the cloud can be utilized, right? One is you can host your application for storage, and if you want to have a data sharing, right? if you want to host on websites for entire banking site or healthcare site, any database maintenance, for everything you can go to the cloud. Advantage of cloud is what? Pay as you go. No need to invest too much of it. Whatever the services you wanted, whatever services categories, infrastructure, platform, storage. For you hosting these applications, your organization, if you need infrastructure, go only on buy an infrastructure. You want a storage, buy only the storage. Sorry, rent only the storage. If you want a platform, based on your need of your application, you can go with that different type of services. Hope you are clear about it, right? Right. So because of the cloud utilization, when it comes to, let us see what is the impact in the business. What is the meaning of business? If the corporate organization, if the employer, if they get benefited, then only employee will get benefited. Am I right or not? Right? If the whenever they do it, right, the company is, due to that, operational cost is reduced, it, right? IT spending is been reduced, it, maintenance cost is been reduced for your organization. Because of that, efficiency of, because of that, what happened? Your particular organization, software market, everything is going higher and higher, right? What's the advantage of that? Right? Okay, since companies are moving to the cloud, what we have to do as a candidate, right? We are all student, maybe an employer, we are searching job, increases. What do you have to do? We have to learn that. Am I right or not? We have to learn the particular cloud. That is the reason nowadays people, whoever is having a cloud skill, right? Whoever is having a cloud skill, they have huge in demand. For example, I'll tell you, if you are a database administrator, you go only for the database job, you do it. Am I right or not? The company deals with the database. If you are a full stack development, they deal with only the full stack development. If you are a data science based company, they deal with only data. Any domain, it may be healthcare domain, it may be banking domain, it may be a real-time domain, it may be any sector. If you say that, finance sector, any sector, you say that they need three major stuff at any cost. They need infrastructure, they need a platform, they need a software. Their domain may be different. Their domain may be medical, their domain may be finance, their domain may be banking, their domain may be a logistic. It may be any domain, but they use IT resources to achieve their task, right? So since this cloud technology, it just gives you the provision for you to reduce your cost of investing in the IT resources. Nowadays, the lots of demand is there for the people, IT cloud specialist, whoever is specialist in the cloud, it is lots of demand is there actually. So another advantage of the cloud is what? It is highly available. What is the meaning of highly available? Your server never goes down. Point number one. Fault tolerance. If there is any problem happens also, it will dynamically take care of it. Scalable elasticity is nothing but based on the demand, automatically it will increase their resource size and everything. Now we are going to do a small demonstration, like how does a particular service, one website I'm going to host it right now. All right. In that website, I'm going to create a load balancing kind of stuff. Okay, people who know already the AWS, maybe you may feel a little simple, but it is one of the most important virtual server we are going to launch it. In that virtual server, I'm going to install a basic website, then hi hello website. Okay, that can be accessed remotely, right? If there is 100 people comes, always the request will not be given to the particular machine, right? Suppose if you have 10 servers, if there are 100 requests comes, all the 100 requests will be distributed among the 10 servers, so that the user will not have a high latency, it will have a low latency of it, right? Are you getting it right? If you have 100 users are there, instead of keep one server to reply, there will be a loss of latency will be more, right? Instead of that, I'll have 10 servers. If it is 100 user comes and request it, that time what happens? The application, any one of the server among the 10 will respond to the particular request, so that make sure the latency of that particular request will be lesser than on premises. Actually, that is the basic. So basic scenario. Suppose if you use a that what they say that PSTN. PSTN means, you hope you know, right? The telephone systems and all, right? Suppose if you want to invest it, you have to buy your own power, purchase install software, data storage, everything. You have to have your own BSNL units kind of stuff. You should have it, or some other telephonic Airtel, or all those things should have it. Now those things they have moved all their resources to the cloud. So just a basic real-time scenario we are talking about. So already I've just told, it is a, you don't need to spend lots of money. It is a capacity, you can eliminate the guessing the capacity, you can automatically dynamically increase it, and it is a speed, don't you spend much money. Globally you can access some basic advantage. So it's globally it is there. Now who is that particular cloud we are talking about? That is what we are talking about, cloud. That's what we are talking about. Amazon Web Services, right? Amazon Web Services. Am I running out of time? Okay, right. So Amazon Web Services, let me just directly get into the system, right? You can just see here, this is the Amazon Web Service. I have been logged in. What I have been logged in? I have been logged into the machine. You can just see that how many services are there. These are the services only I was talking about. You can just see how many services are there. There are lots of services. If you want to do analytics, and right, if you want to do lots of analytics, nowadays people do with lots of analytics, right? They can go for the analytics related services. You can hire instead of buy your own service or build your own service. Go to analytics services, right? If you want to do the compute is nothing but a virtual server we are talking about. Suppose now we have computers, right? You are able to see only the I'll just share it once again, please. Can you see now? Yes. So you can just see that this is the AWS login. I just gone through the AWS login, something like that. I have already taken it, right? AWS Management Console, AWS Management Console. I gone with that. All right. So through that, I just signed up the free account. There is a paid account. It's a free account. You can just sign it with that with your credit cards. Okay. So when you log in it, you will be getting this particular screen, right? Here you have lots of services. Here you have lots of services, like a compute service is nothing but what I just now I told you, virtual server. So now that is what I'm going to launch it, right? So we have a IoT related thing, machine learning related service, all the services we can have it, all the domain. That's what you can see that this more than 250 services are available. Not enough to learn, right? So now I'm going to demonstrate you something about how to launch a dynamic load balanced basic virtual server is. We call it a EC2 instance. Elastic Cloud Compute, we call it as Elastic Cloud Compute. We call it as what? Instance. Okay. Now what I'm going to do it, I'm going to launch a one-line website in a two virtual server, and I'm going to place. This is what things I'm going to do it just for a practical understanding it, right? Uh, I'll be explaining this. This is what I'm going to do it. I'm going to have a multiple virtual servers. In these virtual servers, I'm going to install a web server application so that anybody is request, any one of the server will reply. Any one of the server will reply. Hope you're clear about it. So this is, suppose if you install your application in one server, right? Physically maintain it, you have to put lots of effort to do this, right? But here, this is a matter of just 2 minutes. We can do it, right? Hope you're able to see my screen, everyone. Right, I'm gonna just launch an instance. Like instance is nothing but launching a virtual machines, simple. But only thing is I'm going to do it launching a virtual machine with multiple server. Like let me just make with Anexa machine. I'm going to with Anexa machine. Okay. So in my particular virtual server, which operating system I want Amazon Linux machine. Okay. Now you can just see the different type of free tier. There are different type of charges is there. Which type of machine you wanted? Can you imagine? You can buy. You can just scroll down and scroll down. You can just see that 72 GB. Now you see that we are all having a system. i10 system is there. What is the meaning of i10? 10 processor, 10 core is there. Assume if you want to buy a virtual server with 72 core, 144 GB memory. We are all having 16 GB memory, 32 GB memory, 64 GB memory. Am I right or not? 144 GB memory. You think about the efficiency of the virtual machine, which we can easily hire it. If you buy it, you see that how much it will cost you. But here it will just only pay as you go. How much are you using? You are going to do it, right? Here I'm going with free users. I'm not going to demonstrate. I just go with in the flow. All right. Number of instances I want to create three servers at a single go. Single go, I want to run a 3 servers, right? Let me install this particular web applications. So this is a website. I'm going to install it with necessary web servers. We call it. Suppose if you want to run a web application, so it's just a runtime online demo. So I'm not doing explaining you how we have to do it. Just demonstrating you. Okay. So in this case, what I'm going to do it, I'm launching a 3 virtual servers. All the 3 servers, I'm installing a web server. What is the meaning of web server? To run any web application, we need a web server on that actually. So I'm running the. So we are running a web application. We are going to get in that actually, right? So I'm going to hello world, right? Hello everyone, hello Anexas. I just do that. Anexas. I'm going to install this in this particular server. How many servers? 3 servers. I'm going to install it, right? So proceed without keeper. So now I have been launched three services. I have been launched. Now you can just see here. Let me just go back till it takes some time to make it up. So what are the services I was talking about it? I hope you have seen it. Related to computation, like a machines, all those things we'll be having. These are the services, EC2, Lambda. These are various services we are talking about. Related to the networking, if you, as I told you, right, you are in Dubai, you are here, you are working in the same project. We have to share the cloud in the privately way. That times this particular Amazon VPC and all will be used. Suppose if you want to launch Anexa.com, right, Bangalore.com or India.com, something website. If you want to launch it, we need a domain name server. Even for that, we have a service that's called as Amazon Route 53. Suppose we are all having Google Drive as a storage, is that right? There are lots of storages are available, like S3 storage. These are the various storage. This EBS volume is act as a hard disk for your virtual server. You can call it as hard disk. I will not call it as a term called as hard disk. We call it as a volume. EBS volume is called as storage. So let me just go and check whether my server is launched. You can just see here 3 server is launched, all in running state. So let me rename it 1, 2, 3. All right. I can rename this particular servers. All right. Now this server application, if you want me to check, you can just post it. You can just give the URL of it or IP address of the machine. I will get that. Right. It works. All right. So it is all the instance. It just works. Even in your machine, you can access in a single go. All right. So this is basically launching an instance web server dynamically in a matter of 1 second. Then there are lots of things are there. There is another thing is we call it as what load balancer. That's what just now I was talking about. What is a load balancer? It is instead of send the request to the particular client, you can just pass via this load balancer. So if there is 100 request comes, there will be a different servers will respond to that rather than one server, right? So that can be achieved by using load balance service. These are the lots of benefits we can do it. Same thing if you want to achieve it by using on premises, you should have a primary server, you have a secondary server, you have to install multiple server concept, you have a physical server, you have to install it. Here it's a virtual server. You can go on in a single click. You can just go with configuring the data. Even dynamic provisions also. All the infrastructure for your organization also can be just launched within matter of some few seconds. Also can be done it by using a cloud formation. Some other services are available. So basic understanding what you should understand. Basically what you should understand. There are lots of services will provision you with that particular different need of your application and your organization. So EC2 is one of the basic service. Storage has some service. Database have some services. Those services, these are the services. Hope you're able to see my PPT now. So these are various services which we can access that. No way, I think I'm not selecting the proper window. I'm so sorry. Right, these are various services we are basically lots of services are available. Okay, now who is there in the market? That's what you can say that, right? Not only Amazon, there are lots of cloud providers are there. But do remember the top 5, Amazon is the highest competitor, highest leading AWS partner, cloud provider. They are into that. In coming years, every business, all 95% of the business, they are going to move to the cloud environment, not to say they save their operational cost. Since that during the COVID time, all the people are working the cloud environment, right? So that is the most, without cloud computing, hereafter none of the IT business will be enabled in the real-time market, just for reducing the operational cost and also the much performance systems. If you want to proceed that, we have to go with the cloud concepts, right? Nowadays, if you are really skilled on the cloud computing, almost every industry. Suppose if you go for the database, the only database industry they need you. Suppose if you go for a machine learning industry, only the machine learning industry they may need you. When you are a cloud engineer or cloud architect, when you are a cloud support engineer, any industry they are occupied there or infrastructure as a cloud, they need you. That is the reason nowadays almost many the people who are the new employee, the freshers or the experienced people also, even they're trying to switch over to the cloud domain, because almost every organization they are moved to the cloud, right? So there are lots of security challenges are available, right? Where your data will be stored in the, misconfiguration happens, unauthorized access will be there. So there is a lots of insecurity will be there when the data has been stored in the cloud environment, rather than lots of these challenges all the cloud faces. That is the reason what most of the companies currently they preferred, in order to face these challenges, they are recruiting what? Certified engineers. What is that? They are recruiting certified engineers. That is the reason even Amazon formed a certain kind of, what to say, that certain kind of certification module. They have launched it in their AWS Academy. The main reason is there are so many organizations, so many job roles, they are using cloud, but they are not able to. They are not able to. If you have any queries, you can drop. Anand, you want to complete the load balancer? Do we have time for that? Once again, I'll just meanwhile let it launch it. I'll just do it. Don't worry. Let me go to the different region. I'll do it. No worries. I'll just complete it. Not an issue. Meanwhile, I just go through the certification. It will just go ahead. So we have the load balancer have been skipped. That's what he felt it. I'll just launch a 3. Yes. I have launched the instance. Let it just run it. Okay. No worries. Okay. So as requested from Marimutu, I have been launched load balancer. So let me cover up certification. I don't want to miss the certification coverage. That is the reason I have moved it. Let it happens. I'll just end off the session. I'll do that. Don't do. So that is the reason, like, because of lots of challenges every company they faces, because everybody is not get certified from the cloud and the concerned cloud provider. They just learn some cloud concept So they are just moving to the cloud and as a fresher or the experienced person, a switch over that. For that purpose, there are lots of certification is been enabled from Amazon. So these are the various levels we can do the certification from the Amazon. You can directly get certified, right? The exam will be conducted from the Amazon itself, but you will be having lots of, there are different types of certification is there. Suppose you are completely new to that particular cloud, you want to know the basic understanding of it, you can go about the cloud practitioner, right? That is the fundamental understanding of your entire cloud in AWS. What are the various services are there? What's the purpose of the services? Everything has been available there, right? Then there is the rest of the services depends on the role specific. What is the meaning of role? What role you are going for it? Getting it? What role you are going for? If you are going for an architect role, then you can go for a solution architect. Nowadays, everybody they have started learning with solution architect associate certification just because of that. Because in solution architect associate, what the particular the modules which has been covered is almost all the services how to do an architect. So people are having enormous basic foundation about all the services how does interact with each other. That is the reason nowadays most famous as well as most ongoing, most of the people they are doing the certification of solution architect associate level, whoever want to start with the AWS. Suppose if you want to go for an administrator, system administrator, some kind of stuff, they will go for the sysops administrator. If you are a developer, the people go for the developer. If you are a DevOps, you will go for DevOps. If you are a security specialist for that, go for that. So what I mean to say that the foundation is nowadays it's become solution architect for everybody. Before going to any role specific, right? People started doing the solution architect. So it is there are different concepts. It is a online. It is an online stuff. That So this is what AWS having given the path. What are the certification you have to concentrate? Because everybody, most of the people in the poll, they have told, you know, career development, skill development, all those things. So this, suppose if you decided to go with AWS, what are the certification you have to do it? If you are new to technology, still you can do it. If you are related to business role, suppose you want to do a business role kind of that, right? Still your business, your company, you are deal with the business interaction. Still you should have a basic knowledge of your AWS service, what your organization is opting for, right? And also you, if you are an IT professional, it may be anything, everybody can go with that particular certification. So basically, as I told you, there are different type of certification is there based on the role. If you are architect role, probably I'll tell my team to share this thing, or else you can Google it in your AWS. In AWS certification path is there in AWS website itself, right? Suppose if you are architect role, you are doing it. These are the certificate. This is your actual path. You have to go with that. If you are a cloud data engineer, you are looking for that. You want to look for that cloud. If you see that, did you observe everywhere? Cloud practitioner and solution architect will be the foundation that gives you a basic depth, hands-on knowledge about particular course actually. Suppose if you want to go for an operation, the respective certifications. If you are a test engineer, still there is a respective certification for that. As I told you, AWS cloud or any other cloud is being utilized by irrespective of any domain, irrespective of any role. It is not specific to particular role. That is the reason AWS come up with lots of certification program deals with respective roles actually. So if you are looking for the cloud DevOps, you can also go with the cloud DevOps based role. This is the basic stuff actually, right? If you are network engineer, you can go with that. Basically, there are 12 certifications are available. Basic, you can go with the solution architect or cloud practitioner. Then you can move with a specific role, whichever you are intended to start your career upon, right? That is a career path I can tell about this particular thing. So everywhere we have just covered about it. So let us finish that particular one demonstration. All right. Suppose you can just see here, able to see the screen, my UI. Maybe no. Yes, I think I'm not selecting the right screen. Yeah. Hope you're able to see the screen. Yeah. All right. See, now I have just launched the 3 applications. Hope you have got an idea. So the demonstration will just complete it off. You can just see here, I would have got three different, sorry. You can see that different name will be the south, all those stuffs. Three three instance will have a different IP address. You will able to see that. Right now, how many systems I have launched? I have launched 3 servers, right? I have launched the 3 servers. So 3 servers I have launched it here. I think this server already I have ran it. So totally I have launched 3 major servers. Now all the 3 servers, it is running in different systems. You can just, if you want, you can just see the 164, another one is 157, another one is 109. You can just see that. So different servers it's running here, right? So individually you have to call it, right? You have to make it individual. You can just say I have just given pass that particular individual server. You can also access from your machine. How long I took to launch this server? Maybe just less than a 2 minute, right? Right? Yes. Every 3 virtual machine comes with a different of their IP address. Every 3 machines will not be having the same machine, same IP address, right? Right? All are 3 different servers. You may ask, what is the need of it, right? The major purpose people are going for multi-server architecture is nothing but if there is a number of requests is more, that load should be distributed among how means that's what I'm answering you, right? Suppose one server is enough. I'm not telling one server is not sufficient. Even launch your one server, you can launch it. But still, if you want to make your server so reliable, launch the application in multiple server. That is a to make your application more reliable, the performance wise, if you want to improve your architecture, we have to launch your application to multiple server. Suppose if you are going for some kind of customer support, there will not be only one customer support, right? There will be many customer support. What is the purpose of not having only one customer support engineer? If the one customer support engineer is there, if all clients will wait for that particular customer only, right? Instead of that, there will be multiple customer support engineer. If any request comes, any one of the customer will, we can address it, right? So that is the purpose of launching it in multiple server. Hope again you understood the purpose of launching in multiple server. All right. Yes, thank you. Now what I'm going individual instead of calling the individually, what I can do it, I can do with what? There is a service called as load balancer. There is a service called as load balancer. Got it? I'm so sorry, I'm running out of time. Just give me 1 minute, I'll just finish this. Sorry, Professor. Okay. So now just go for, there are lots of load balancer available. We are going with application load balancer. You will be learning this when you are joining for any other courses or stuff, right? So Anexa load balancer. All right. I'm gonna do it. Yeah, thank you, Pavitra. Right. So I'm gonna launch that application. I will not be, I will not be telling you like how I'm launching it. Maybe, right. So I'll go with. Let me check. Launch wizard 1. I'll just do it later, not an issue. Now what I'm going to do it, I'm creating one link. I'm going to create one link we call it as load balancer. If instead of you contact that particular IP address directly, probably previously you would have tried it, right? You can access that particular IP address, you can directly access it, right? So same application runs in 3 times. Now what happens? Instead of that application run directly, you contact this load balancer. So among these 3, any one this request will be redirected. That's what I'm going to do it. Are you getting it? Assume there is a 3 customer support engineer. Instead of you go and directly ask somebody, there will be a manager will be there in front of that, right? You go and ask your request. That particular manager decides based on the availability of the customer support engineer. They'll redirect you to the respective person. That we basically call as what load balancer happens. But suppose, right? So that's what we are going to do it. I understand, like you may want to learn this stuff. We will be learning soon. Don't worry. All right. And it's target group. screen is overlapping with. We check. I'll just make sure I just done everything. Yes. So what are the three servers? All the three servers I would like to put under this particular stuff. Right. Now this particular stuff, target group, I'm just going to call it.
Sorry, I don't understand. First up tomorrow, you have an all-day event called Telecom birthday. No tasks for today. Currently in Bengaluru, it's 25
Right.
degrees, partly
So
cloudy. Tonight, the forecast is around 22 and partly cloudy. On the 10th of
I've created the load balancer.
Cloudy with a high of 29 and a low of 21. The best way to get home by car is via Outer Ring Road. It will take about 53 minutes in moderate traffic. You can see the full route on your phone. No tasks for today. First up tomorrow, you have an all-day event called Telecom birthday.
Now I have one load balancer. Let me just go and check the security group which need to be updated. So now what I have done it, I have created a three server. That three server, I have in front of the three server, I have made a load balancer for that. Okay, that's what I think the it is fine. Fine now. Now you can just see here. Now I'm going with that load balancer. Earlier I was calling that all three stuffs, right? It takes some time. Now you see that same link. Every time when I refresh, it will just give different. Any one of the server will reply. You can just see that. A single click, any one of the server is reply. This is, we call it as what the reliable, right? The performance of the machines, right? If there is 100 machines. Now I have launched the 3 machines, right? Similarly, runtime also you can increase the number of machines, depends on the load. You can reduce the number of machines also. That we call it as auto scaling group. Hope Mr. Marimutu, you are clear about it, right? So guys, hope you are clear about it, the load balancing. So this is the architecture I have been done it, right? There is a individually I launched an application to one server. I was calling individually, right? Then what I did, I launched the load balancer. In a single click, it is redirecting the request to all the 3 servers randomly. You can see that IP address will keep changing. So it means to say that what the request is been distributed to 3 different servers actually. That's what you are talking about. Hope you are clear about it. So load balancer is nothing but you can just say that there is a 3 servers are available. Those 3 servers, whenever you want to request directly instead of that, you can keep a load balancer in front of that. So that if there is any request comes, the load balancer will distribute the request to any one of the 3. That's what I told you. If there is one customer care is there, you just go and approach only that customer care and execute. In that case, what we'll do? If the 100 people comes, all the 100 people they have to wait for the particular customer care people. Am I right or not? Instead of that, there let it be multiple customer care agent. You keep one particular manager, receptionist kind of person. So if there is any request coming to that particular reception, they will. It's not like a filter. It's not like a filter. It distribute whom to respond. It is not a filter. Instead of ask the server, you ask the load balancer. Whoever is free, whoever is the load is good enough, it will redirect the request to that particular resource. So simple. Load balancer, you can call it as balance it. Distributor, you cannot call it as. Yeah, you can sell it as a traffic load distributor. You can distribute the loads. You can call it as. It is not filtering anything. It just redirect you. Go to this room. Go to that room. We just say, right. Suppose you are going for an exam hall, something they will say, somewhere you are going to attend, there will be multiple rooms. All multiple rooms, they will be having a whatever you want to understand, you understand that. Here, what the 3 server is that any one of the servers should respond, right? Even if you take Amazon, simple, you are booking a train ticket, right? There will be a multiple people at a single time, they'll access that particular server. Transfer to the free server, yes, you can take it like that. free servers or less load server, you can consider whatever the rate. Is that clear so far? Hope you understood, everyone. So what is cloud? We have seen it. It's basically it's a rental one, and hiring resources. You can also, I'll just send you this link to you, not an issue. You can even after that you can access it. I send this endpoint to you. All right. The another things what we have seen it, how AWS is looking for the certified people, right? If the people, there are lots of opportunities there in AWS cloud opportunities are there. They are looking for the certified people. The main reason is there are every people they were not able to handle all the services in efficient way, right? If the certified people in the sense they will AWS will evaluate you on that particular role. Suppose you are going for a solution architect, they will evaluate on solution architect role. All right. So as a what is this that we are also launching a new course, new schedule. Maybe Pavitra will list out that we have almost some 10 modules are there. In that particular module, the complete almost it's a 36 hours of course we are launching it, right? It's completely certification training course, how to clear the certification in the practical scenarios, the labs and the real-time projects we deal with that. Module 1 we deals with what is the cloud and what are the various infrastructures are available in the cloud, how many regions are there in globally, we will be covering it up. How does, suppose in your organization there will be multiple people will be there, you'll be having a project manager, you'll have a resource thing, all those, yeah, it is course details you'll be sharing it, but I would like to elaborate what all will they will learn it. So all the authentication based, everybody we cannot give all the authorization, right? So related to that we'll discuss some modules. As I just now I demonstrated a basic virtual server, right? In the virtual server there are lots of concepts are there, that virtual servers will be discussed, and the different way we can purchase. Storage ways we'll discuss what are the various storage server we can use it in AWS, how to efficiently we can use it here. That will be discussed there, right? Then suppose you want to move a storage from one place to another place, we can have a, right? How to secure your data in your AWS environment by using lots of KMS services are available. Like this load balancer, suppose there more load is coming to your organization or in your application, how to, yes Chandru, please you can drop your question there. Chandru, just anonymous certain is again one more create website with EC2 instance. So I can maybe time is up. So we'll just see that. Yeah, we'll just send that. We will just we'll be sending necessary steps. What are my admin team will contact you. You can contact them. They'll provide the necessary information. Okay. So this is just a basic demonstration. No worries. Okay. Then how to do the private network we want to organize in the entire. So because the solution architect is the course, which is the one which is completely, it will give you the deepest, the very depth knowledge about each and every service, how to interact with that each other, how to integrate with each other. So even in the exam point of view also, we will be discussing that actually. How to clear the certification in that aspect, because I'm also a certified person. How to clear that certification, I have a trick also. I will be helping you. It's not like dump and all. Practically, you learn things and you do it. All right. Then there are lots of how to host your websites, how to deal with the domains, how to deal with your, how to create your DNS server. What is the meaning of DNS server? You can have your own domain like rajgopal.com, anexa.com, like that. You can have your own domain. How to communicate your application with the domain, how to enhance the security. All those things will be covered. We'll also have lots of lab sessions, or every lab session with detailed lab. You are asking, send notes like that. Detailed, every lab will have a detailed notes also, how to do that lab practically. And also we deal with lots of projects, right? Real-time projects. We'll ask you to develop a website, how to deal this website in architect role. There are different roles that as an architect, how to deal with that particular projects in the architect role. That project demonstration also will be given. We will make you to do a project by yourself by giving the detailed knowledge which is required for a solution architect. So that is what we are basically focusing on this course. So this is major agenda of this particular workshop. Hope I make you to understand some basic knowledge. I'm sure that it is not a complete depth knowledge I have given you. I hope I have given a basic knowledge about what is cloud, like a basic demonstration about the cloud, and what are the various certifications are available as a career path or skill development, what you can choose it for the role which you want it, right? That you can go with that. So this is what from my end. If there is any other thing, you can just shoot out a query. I'll ask 2 minutes. Probably I'll be taking up your query. Yes, thank you. Is there any poll to be taken from like Pavitra? Yeah, it is totally 36 hours. You can contact admin team. They will do it. So just now, within 1 hour, I've given the detail. I will be the person who will be conducting the solution architect course, right? I will be dealing with completely the practical one, which will be able to make sure that you clear the certification at any cost. So far, my candidate are almost 98% they were clearing the certifications. So you can go with that. I also shared the poll, like based on this particular after this course, what exactly you are looking for. You can also just answer some few questions. So our team will be. It will be useful for us to handle who is really in demand. Yes, Mr. Amitabh.
Yes,
Take a call.
so great. So thanks a lot. And those who are interested, yeah, we'll get in touch with you. And of course, you can develop a good skill. So thanks a lot for joining this session. And soon we'll be sending you the information. And any other questions you have?
Yes, feel free to ask any other questions.
Okay, thanks a lot. So with that, then in that case, we can close the session. Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much.
Thank